She was terrified of water, as if it had teeth. I first saw Lena on a quiet Monday morning, standing at the edge of the indoor pool in an oversized black one-piece, arms wrapped tight around herself, staring at the surface like it might swallow her whole. Mid-20s, but in that moment she looked small, fragile, lost. "I can't swim," she blurted before I could even say hello. "At all. I sink like a rock. My mom signed me up because, well, it doesn't matter. I don't want to be here." I'd been a swim instructor for 7 years. I'd seen every kind of fear. Screaming kids, cocky adults pretending they weren't scared. But Lena was different.
She didn't pretend.
She just stood there, shoulders high, lips pressed thin, daring the water to prove her right. "I'm Masha," I said softly. "And we're not starting with swimming. We're starting with just stepping in. No pressure. Only when you're ready." She narrowed her eyes, suspicious, then gave the tiniest nod. The first lessons were silent. I held both her hands while she descended the pool steps one at a time. Water reached her waist, and she froze, breath shallow, knuckles white in mine. I never rushed her. I just stood there and whispered, "Breathe with me. I've got you. You're safe."
She didn't believe me.
But she kept coming back. Then one day she didn't show. I waited until closing. Empty lanes, only the sharp scent of chlorine and echoing drips. I was pulling on my hoodie to leave when the door creaked open. Lena walked in, eyes red, cheeks blotchy. "I can't do this," she choked out.
"I am quitting."
"It's ridiculous. A grown woman afraid of a pool." I kicked off my shoes, sat on the edge, and let my feet dangle in the water.
"Seat."
She sat. We kicked gently, side by side, saying nothing for a long time. When I was 7, I said quietly, some older kids held me under at the lake. They thought it was funny. I remember the burning in my lungs, the sky getting farther away. Someone pulled me out, but I still have nightmares. So every day I get in the water on purpose. So it never owns me again. Lena turned, really looked at me for the first time. "That's why I teach," I continued. "Not to make champions. Just to help people live beside the thing that scared them most."
She didn't speak.
She simply leaned over and rested her wet head on my shoulder. Chlorine and warm skin. Something inside me cracked open. Everything changed after that. She started trusting my hands first, then me. I taught her to float on her back. She panicked the second her ears went under. So I floated beside her, held her hand, and said, "Match my breathing."
In, out.
Eyes squeezed shut, lips trembling. She matched me.
And stayed.
One evening she finally let go and floated alone. 3 full seconds. Then 5. Then she opened her eyes, saw the ceiling lights shimmering through the water, and the biggest smile broke across her face. "I'm floating, Masha," she whispered, voice cracking. "I'm actually floating." Tears mixed with pool water. I pulled her into a hug right there in the middle of the lane, arms wrapped tight, both of us laughing and crying at once. We started staying late, sitting on the edge after everyone left, legs swinging, sharing secrets. She told me about her 8th birthday. Someone pushed her into the deep end as a joke. No one noticed she was drowning until it was almost too late. She still showers with her eyes closed when water hits her face. I told her how the water became my therapy, my church, my safest place. How learning to breathe beneath the surface taught me I could survive anything. One Friday the pool was ours alone. Lights dimmed to twilight blue, the water glowing like a secret. She was swimming strong now, smooth strokes, confident kicks. I sat on the edge watching, heart stupidly full. She swam up, placed her wet hands on my knees, and looked straight up at me. "Masha." "Yeah. I'm not afraid of the water anymore." I noticed. "I'm afraid of something else now."
"What?"
"That when these lessons end, I won't see you every day." My throat closed, because I was terrified of the exact same thing. She climbed the ladder slowly. Water streamed down her skin. The black suit clung to every curve. She sat beside me, so close our thighs touched. "I didn't fall in love with swimming," she said, voice barely above the lap of the water. I fell in love with you, with the way you never let go, with the way you make me feel like I can float even when I'm sure I'll sink. I couldn't find words, so she kissed me instead, hesitant at first, like she was still waiting for me to pull away. Then deeper, braver. Her lips were cool from the pool, but the kiss was fire. I slid my hands to her waist, drew her closer until she was half in my lap, water dripping between us. We tasted chlorine and relief, and 7 years of me never letting myself want this. When we finally broke apart, foreheads still touching, she laughed through happy tears. I thought I'd never stay above water, she whispered. Turns out all I needed was you to teach me how to breathe. Now she swims better than I do some days. She shows up to watch my group lessons wearing my oversized hoodie, grinning from the bleachers when I yell, "Kick harder," at the kids. Sometimes she brings coffee in a thermos and leaves little notes in my locker. "You looked beautiful yelling at the 8-year-olds today." On quiet nights, we turn off all but the underwater lights. The pool becomes a galaxy, and we swim slow laps side by side, fingertips brushing every time we pass. When we're tired, we float on our backs, holding hands, letting the water cradle us while we name the constellations we can't see through the roof. One evening, she taught me something new. She dove to the bottom, picked up a tiny lost earring someone had dropped months ago, and surfaced with it between her teeth, like a triumphant mermaid. She pressed it into my palm and said, "For the day you pulled me out of the deep end of everything." I still keep that earring on a chain around my neck. When I coach, it rests against my heart, hidden beneath my whistle. She learned to float. I learned to fall. And together, we never sink.